Yo guys, it's me again, No Nonsense Know-How, this time down in Pompano Beach, Florida, where we're gonna do a video on this 1964 Ford N600 heavy duty flat dump bed, actually, stake body. So the story on this one is he said he bought it off a guy in Indiana. It didn't run for many years, got it transported here, and now it's kind of been sitting. We will go back and do a tour and then dive in. No skin in the game on this one, and it is going to be for sale, so I'll update the description down below. More on that later. But there's so I'm down here at a used car lot. Florida Trucks Only is the name, and this is the rig I'm in. So we just came down here and actually doing another video. Gonna see if this makes it home. So far so good, a little bit fingers crossed. But I didn't buy it from this guy, so I came here and I was checking out another one that he had. He's got his guy working on a pretty sweet old Chevy square body. I'll show you too right now. But I came down to see this SWAT truck with the extended cab. It's got the Cummins 12 valve mechanically injected P7100. Really wanted it, but there were some things I didn't like about this, and the price was just, you know, way out of my range. Here's a glance at this square body. He's actually got this for sale too. You can see somebody started restoring it. Really nice paint job on there. Long tube headers, and yeah, interior's got to be finished. But yeah, this the reason I'm down in Florida is because check that out, beautiful. You don't see rust-free square bodies up our way. All that's off topic though. I just wanted to show you guys the truck that I came down here to see, and that's how I met Kenny. Seems like a great guy. So let's go check out the N600. We'll start up front with that snub nose, mean looking face on her. Super heavy duty I-beam bumper that somebody probably custom built on it. I don't know if you'd call this a cab over. It's almost like a cross between a cab over and not. We got drum brakes in the front, and here's a look at the rust up here. Not bad, you know, for a 64, not bad at all. You know, a couple, even with these heavy old fenders, a couple rust holes right there, but the old farmer braced it up. Rust on the bottoms of the doors, and in between the bed, you know, the wood's rotting out, but that frame, I mean, you really don't have to worry about things rotting through when they make them that heavy duty. Oh, unless you live in the Northeast, of course. Meat on the tires, but they all got dry rot. I would not drive home with these. Paying it along, yeah, some rust holes in the bed there. Yep. Heavy duty hitch on it. That, wow, yeah, somebody did a nice job on that. Sorry about these camera angles, guys. These pivots on the back look like they're in good shape. Look at the differential. This is more like a vehicle tour, and we're gonna find out the condition of the engine. He didn't do anything with it. It just knows it's been sitting for a long time. And he does have mechanics that they haven't got to it yet, and I seen this and I was like, oh yeah, who put this twinker muffler on there? Well, I guess you don't even know what engine's in it. The drive shaft is off on it, but I'm assuming, you know, he said he bought it in Indiana, so that's probably just from towing it back. A little bit of leakage, missing one bolt on the third member. Fuel tank looks like it's in good shape, no rust holes on the bottom. Let's pop that off, take a whiff. Usually gives us a good idea of how long. So pretty long. Oh, all right, I'm gonna call that at least 20 years, maybe 30. It smells really, really bad. I don't know how else to really put it. You know, varnish or whatever the case. Oh boy, all right, just lean down here for you. Excuse me. That's how you guys can, oh, look at that. Somebody was messing with this. The torque converter cover is off on it. Oh, nest in there, so yeah. So somebody came and checked her out already. A little bit, hopefully the motor's not locked up. Speaking of, let's take a look. This little V8 in there, maybe their industrial engine. It got a Holley 2-barrel, older one. Where's the hood pop on this thing, or the hood prop? Here we go. I'll hold that with my head. Oh, yeah. Gotta love the old style hoods. Alright, let's start with the motor oil. I'm just gonna jump all around like we always do. So we are below the mark. Actually, this has got custom ground marks on the dipstick, so maybe this was never the right dipstick. But it's not overfilled, so that's a good sign. It's got Gates green stripes on there. It's actually in pretty decent shape. The driver out. Let's try to give her a rock. Oh, yep, I saw a little budge on that. Okay, so she ain't locked up tight. It's good that it's got an air filter. Heater core's been bypassed. Single service master cylinder on it. And bone dry. Okay, nothing in it. But it's not all rusted and cruddy up. So all needs one of those. I'm sure that's locked up. We'll go in the cab and check though. Regular Motorcraft distributor, coils right here. Everything looks all totally intact. Coil is disconnected. All for one side. We'll leave that disconnected for now. And yeah, that's about all you have to see. I'm not gonna go bother really checking what motor it is or not. Every time I take a guess that I'm wrong, and you guys call me out. So broken glass on this side. And here's a look inside the cab. Rust holes, not bad. Aftermarket seats that are in really nice shape. So somebody was definitely, they loved this truck. See if this clutch works. Yeah, we'll get some action there. Brakes. I shouldn't be pressing that with no fluid, but yeah, that's moving. That master's not seized up. Gas pedal is stuck down to the floor. Somebody already pressed that. And we do have keys. Somebody's little crafty fix there. Lots of farmer fixes, Indiana farmer fixes on this. Gotta love it. Oh, look at the gauges. All built into one. I don't know if you can see it, but we got charging, fuel, temp, oil pressure, your speedo. Got an aftermarket head unit in it. Oh, no goodies in there, but somebody made that home for a while. Oh, this has probably got a 2-speed rear in it as well. I wasn't even looking when I was back there. Does make sense. That window's got a big old crack in it too, if you can see that. I'm trying to point out what I can for anybody who might be interested, because I'm not driving this 1,300 miles home. Door closes nice. Not all rattly. Here's a look at the VIN. If anybody wants to look that up. Made in USA by Ford. Hopefully you guys can make that out. I'll try and plug a picture in if not. Max GVWR is 17,000 pounds. And there's a look at the electronically actuated 2-speed rear. And then let's give you a look at the dump body too. Oh, giant cylinder. See that passenger door opens and closes good. I guess I shouldn't really, but I will anyway. Haha, yeah. You know, you gotta love that. Just unbelievable. This is our battery box here, right? It's empty, but in good shape. Somebody put a new plastic box in. And your ventilation. Ooh, sure there's all sorts of critters living in there too. What's in this tray? 1 cigarette butt and a self-tapper. Okay, probably the nicest part in here are the seats. See how that closes. There, oh. I was just gonna say, very nice. It's got that old style with the little spinner, so probably just needs a little lube, linkage off or something. And you'll have to tie that shut. But yeah, off to check out the engine. I suppose we'll start with seeing if she rotates, and luckily have a good amount of tools and smooth Harbor Freight run for bringing this thing home. Running slightly tight on time since it is later in the day, but yeah, he told me just throw a battery in it, see if it fires up. We're not going to do that, but we will throw a wrench on and see. I know we should pull the plugs first. You know, do as I say, not as I do. Never rotate an engine dry that's been sitting forever. All right, wow, she's tight going that way. And how about lefty loosey? All right, it budged a little bit, but it does not sound good. I can hear rust going on here. Let's pull the plugs out. Pittsburgh mechanic set. Hopefully I'm gonna have everything I need. Spark plug sockets, 1/2-inch drive. I don't think this kit was made by mechanics. I haven't seen one of those before. We're gonna wanna blow that dirt out first. pop all 8 plugs out now. There's a look at all 8. I know this GoPro doesn't show you that much detail, but the rear ones are a little bit wet and oily, and the front one's better looking, but none of them severely rusted. Actually, this one's got a little bit of rust on it. But I do have my bore scope, so let's drop that down and see if we can't get a peek now. Or not. Turns out the switch must have got bumped on, or I left it on and the battery's completely dead. Another option, especially since it's so easy to get to, would be dropping the oil pan down. That way if there's any mud in there like the Caddy Swamp Pass, you can get it on out. But you're never going to be able to see the tops of the cylinders from there. And while we're down here, let's point out a couple other things. We can see our freeze plugs starting to leak, rusting out. It's got a mechanical fuel pump, and this seems like maybe a sediment bowl on the bottom that's you can clean out, which would be really awesome if that's the case. It's got a cartridge style oil filter on it. Yeah, both those rear freeze plugs are, people like to call them core plugs. Everybody's got different names for them. Both those are leaking. How about the other side? Oh yeah, this side's leaking even more. Bet you there's no water even in this block. That's okay, we're not worried about that. For now, I'm gonna shoot a little PB blast in each cylinder, keep things lubricated a little bit. And we'll also tag that carburetor linkage up. I'm sure that's gonna have to come off. Guy was showing the pedal is stuck to the floor. Let's see if she retracts. Oh, there it is. Sweet. Get some lube up on that pivot too. And the pivot inside. Last thing you want is to stick in throttle, right? Yeah, she's still a little tight. I'll let that work in some. Got a little diesel we can dump down the throat. This is somewhat I pumped out the tank the other day. A 1/4 cup diesel. Help out with lubricity, and we can hand crank her over now. Yo, quick break here, guys. I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Blaster. They've been extremely supportive of the channel over the last year or so. I'm very grateful for that. And a couple things. So we're doing a little hat giveaway. I got 2 in this style, and then 1 that's black. Now they actually just sent me these hats, and I've only tried them on. I don't really wear this style hat. Well, that's how it would look on you. More so wear the style with like the bump out on it. Shout out to Boss Garage. So anyway, if you guys want to win these, I will drop details on how to do that down in the description. Make sure not to respond to any of the impersonating scammers. It's not me. If you don't see a check mark like this one right here, it's not me. And the second thing here is I want to mention probably my favorite product by them, their Surface Shield. This is a rust protectant, great for undercoating your vehicles right before the winter. You can get a spray can at Home Depot, Harbor Freight, and many other stores, or you can get a 5-gallon pail and then use a spray gun like this for getting under your vehicle and coating all the surfaces. Now I've got a great example to show you, the Submarine Tundra. We're here in the Northeast, get a lot of rust, and check out this frame. Spotless clean for a 2004. If you know these first gen Tundras, they're notorious for rotting out. So all I do is once a year hit it with lanolin oil based rust protectant, and I've found the Blaster just lasts a lot longer from the tests I've done. See a couple spots with a little rust on them? Boom, just tag them up like that, and that's all I do each year. You can go crazy with it, or you could just go bare minimum like that. I also like to come in and hit parts that you might have to service at some point, like brake line fittings and other odds and ends, and you're gonna save yourself so much headache in the long run. But it doesn't stop there. You can hit everything you want. So let's hit this one spot on the M101A2, and then we'll come back in the spring and see how that looks. I also use it when I winterize the jet ski, and I basically tag everything in sight that has rust on it. So like say these bolts, I sprayed this about 3 days ago. See, that's still wet and tacky. It does dry and cure a little bit, but it stays tacky. So if you're looking for a good rust protectant, look no further than Surface Shield. Definitely gets my seal of approval. Unless, of course, you want your truck ending up with holes in it. Details for winning these in the video description, and back to the video. Oh yeah. Train going by. Bright line. Okay, so she's rotating just fine. This really doesn't mean anything. It could still have, push rods all rusted up, or lifters rusted in their bore is what I meant to say. Lots of other valve train issues. But you know, before you go cranking it with the starter, it's a good idea to see if she goes 360 or 720. And now, oh wow, going the other way though. I can't spin it, and that's because the belt's probably gripping up now. And it can't spin the fan, is what's going on. So let's get these belts off. Yeah, the water pump's tight as can be. Alternator is free though. Get the battery in and crank her over. That one goes to the frame. Let's do a spark test to make sure we got no current. Okay, that's good. We're hooked up and live. Make sure we're in neutral, which we are. Let's do a little key on action. Whoa! All right, that was the fan came on. Did you guys hear that? Oh yeah. Find out where that switch is. Oh, right here. Boom. There we go. Nope, that didn't do it. Push. There we go. I had to twist it. Listen to that though. That fan is good still. Unreal. Alright, with that off, let's give her a little bump. See if the engine bumps over. Nothing. I hear a little click down there, but nothing. We got nothing. So we'll have to get some power right to the starter. But you know what, before that, let's just crack this drain bolt loose and see, make sure there's no water. And nope, we got all oil in there. No water coming out. And the next step would be checking if we're getting juice at this starter solenoid. And if we are, it's probably just locked up, but I think we'll just put the jump pack right to it. Put a sheet down though so I don't get shot in the face with PB Blast and diesel. And now if oh, look at this, we have another battery switch in there. Maybe that's why it wasn't working. Where is that? Oh, yeah. Okay, that's on now. Oh, all right, there it is. Okay, a nice crank over. Let's go ahead and throw those plugs in, listen to a plug-in crank. Yep, definitely would have got shot in the face there. All 8 plugs back in, and before we crank it this time, we should probably disconnect the fuel line from the fuel pump. That way it doesn't pump any gunk up. This actually has a decent looking filter on it. It's not all plugged up. The hose is rock hard, so we'll just give it a little snip snip. Perfect. And now the plug-in crank. All right, sounds pretty decent. I'll take it. Let's see if we hook up directly to the battery side of this. Little arc. We got some current draw, but that could just be, well actually no, that couldn't be the coil, because the coil's unplugged. Let's see what happens when we turn the key now. Nothing. I'm sure that's just a sticky solenoid. I like the head. We'll give it a tap from here. There it is. Just needed a little tap. Should have done that to begin with. Let's check for some spark. I set the coil primary wire, ready to get the thermostat housing, and then we can use our starter switch and check for spark. I got nothing. I'm sure it's just dirty points. Let's pop the dizzy off and see what we got going on in here. I did hook that coil back up, by the way. Decent looking cap and rotor. Actually fairly newer, but you know, that's, see that a lot of time. Heck, the Mack truck had a newer cap and rotor. Yeah, we got some points. I'm gonna clean those out. Yeah, there's a little corrosion in the pad. We'll clean that, and then we'll check that we're getting 12 volts at the coil over here. A little overkill, but the file on my Leatherman will do a good job. Let's see what that did for us. Still no spark. Got the other end of this hooked up to the coil primary positive. Let's see if we got any volts. I'm gonna ground this wire. Yeah, we do. We got 15 volts because we got the jump pack on there. Now, just because we have voltage going over to that coil doesn't mean anything. It could be still like frayed wires just sending voltage, but not enough amperage. So let's jump 12 volts to that. Oh yeah, see, well, if I hook that one up, we got a nice arc. And if I hook the other one up, I'm only getting a tiny little arc. So that might just have some resistance in that wire. well, actually, it should have a resistor on it too, but we're gonna hook up straight 12 off the battery and give that a go. Some more juice to the coil. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. But nice spark. That was it. We just didn't have enough juice going to that coil for whatever reason. It could be high resistance in the ignition switch or somewhere else in the system. Again, it could be a frayed wire too. Side note, I want to tell you about this Peterbilt. I was just talking to Caesar, one of Kenny's mechanics, guy works here fixing stuff, and he traded a jet ski for this rig. It's a 1994 Peterbilt day cab. He's actually, so he had a jet ski he got for a few $100s, got it working, fixing, and then he took it out on the water. First time out, he ended up getting stopped by the police, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of this thing. So he was gonna sell it for $3,500. He was driving home and he saw his Peterbilt sitting, and he went and saw a guy out front, hey, you wanna sell it? How much you want for the Peterbilt? And the guy said, how much you want for your jet ski? And he said, oh, I'll trade you the jet ski. So that was it. Caesar, I was just telling him a story about how you got the Peterbilt. Yeah. What'd you pay for the jet ski that you...
I paid $500 and $300 in the road.
And it was a straight up trade for this?
Exactly.
And this was sitting for what, like 5 or 10 years before you...
It was 5 years in precast over there in the company. Supposed to be nobody can make it started.
And you made it...
Super easy to start it. I don't know what they're doing, but it was super easy to make it started.
Unbelievable. So you're gonna get this on the road doing some loads and such?
I wish I can do it. I can work with them. I like to drive this one. I have a Cascadia, but I prefer to drive this one, you know?
All right.
I love it. Let me start it for you.
Oh, you're gonna start it up? All right. Woo!
Easy, right?
Yeah, it sounds healthy. And what motor's in that?
A Cummins M14.
Okay, nice. That's a pretty good trade for a jet ski.
Yeah, what is it?
Hi, back to getting this started. We have spark now. Put a little gas down the throat. A little more than enough. That should do it. You guys heard that? Hopefully. A little bit with all the traffic going, but let's get some fuel to the carb now. And oh, look at that. I just noticed somebody wrapped tinfoil around the fuel line. A bunch of people are commenting on the Torino video that was a fix for the vapor lock. It would take care of it. I guess that would help dissipate the heat off, since the aluminum is a much better thermal conductor. A little pro tip for you, this style Gatorade bottle, you take it off and then it's perfect little nipple instead of drilling holes and caps. Look at that. Let's see if this carburetor takes gas. Yep, she's taken. And is the float gonna stop? Give this a little tap while he holds that up. Let that float stop. All right, good. Yeah, lifter's a little noisy. We'll pump up. Not pumping up yet. You got oil pressure? Well, we got good oil pressure too. And I know a lot of you guys are thinking right now, why don't you pull the distributor out and use a drill to crank it and prime the whole system? And well, good. Ready for sale. Oh yeah, man, for sure, absolutely. You the man, dude. Took a long break there, kind of just hanging out. I'm gonna fire this up one more time. See if she starts up. I'll disconnect it better. All right, this jump pack's dead now. And he had a couple packs I could borrow. Said this one's a little bit weak. But look, he got by Van Air, the Good All Start All. And they're actually sending me one of these right now. Pretty stoked. I've seen videos, they seem awesome. So maybe use that, but we'll start with this guy. He swears by this thing. He said it's the best jump pack ever. But it only goes for 45 seconds and then it shuts off. That's why I was like, I'm gonna grab the other one. All right, well, those valves have quieted down. You guys hear that? I wonder if that pumper does work or not. Guess we could give it the old spit shine carb clean. me he doesn't want to do all that.
I
Still going, oh, the whole plan's on me. Nice. Perfect amount. You said you saw somebody blow one up once doing it?
Oh yes, I did. Carlos Silva. Most of the people, they try to go around complete. You only have to go half. That's it. No need anymore. Nobody died the day before, okay? Don't worry.
That's it. I got a little sidetracked there and time has really flown by. We're gonna have to wrap it up for the evening because I want to go take Jen out to dinner and maybe hit a brewery or something. I want to come back tomorrow and do more work to this. You know, we got that water pump to address. It's locked up. Take the carburetor off, clean that, check out the brakes maybe. And, you know, Kenny's down to put some time and money into this, which is a great situation. But unfortunately, I think we do have to roll out of town tomorrow. So I'm going to just shoot the outro. And if something changes, then we'll come back. But here's the deal. I mean, it's for sale. This truck is 100% awesome and has a lot of potential. I've showed you pretty much everything on it, and I think it's just make a great farm rig. So if you're interested in buying it, let me know. I'll try to drop a price in right here. I'll talk to Kenny, see what he's asking, and you know, shoot me a message on Instagram or Facebook under the same handle, NoNonsenseKnowHow, or drop a comment. And I don't really always see all those, depending on how many, and it doesn't really notify me all the time. But you know, just a great overall rig. The one thing I didn't show you guys, but I did want to show you the pump on it for the dump. So that's driven off the transmission, PTO on the side. Yeah, it does have a transmission leak. That's how much it's been leaking, but not bad at all. You got the drum parking brake on there too. And that was just one extra thing I wanted to show you. I was kind of show you the frame inside of that in case, seriously, I'd love to see this go to a good home. And we'll end it there. Thanks so much for checking the video out. If you watch this far, wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff without you guys watching. That's the last look at her, and now it's off to the hotel to go grab Jen and go do something fun. All right, Caesar, great meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, see you
tomorrow. You got lucky.
Was barking for me all day long. He was so annoying, and then Chris gets back from working and now he's just a little angel.
Oh, the little Gus. And what a joy to be home with this beautiful woman. We'll cut that part out. Alright guys, this is your first swim ever. You gotta be able to do it with no swimmies, no nothing. There's mommy. Don't go sinking. Look at him go.
Come here, Gus.
You're a good swimmer. All right, let's do one more big swim, and then you'll usually have your life vest on, of course, but we want to make sure he knows how to swim without his life vest. Good boy. His tail's wagging too.
Oh,
you can swim.
That's my boy.
Gus, you meet a friend?
That's cute. They recognize each other.
Yeah, they're like, hey, I look like you.
That's so
You look like me.
Yeah, exactly. So they're happy.
I don't know how he feels about the motorcycle.